Hi everyone, this is Bhumika HS, and I'm here and presenting at the Space Alchemist YouTube channel. I'm basically an architect, interior designer, and a Vastu coach and consultant. But here I have a series that I'm launching on my YouTube channel that currently deals with understanding the different Mahadashas, and I was able to learn a little bit of astrology, or I'm keenly learning astrology because it's a little related to Vastu. So I do not offer any consultations as such in astrology, but I do want to share the information for those of you who are interested in learning about the different dasha periods that we have. And you can explore this as your fundamental guide to exploring more into these topics. So today I'll be talking about one major topic known as the Ketu Mahadasha. And the reason why I felt this is important is because Ketu is a planet that is very suspicious and a very mysterious planet, and many people don't really know what to expect, especially when they're going through this Mahadasha. So I thought I'll tackle that today. So, firstly, when I talk about Ketu, when you understand Ketu as a planet, how exactly Ketu originated is that when you understand the Rahu Ketu are from the same body, while Rahu was the head, Ketu was the body of the same thing. So, Ketu is a body, a skeletal with muscle, but it doesn't really have a head. So, whatever it does is through actions, and it doesn't have a mind to think. So, when the possibility of a mind is not there attached to the body, the only way it can do is work with the body it has and pick up things intuitively. So intuition is something that is excessively looked at when we talk about Ketu, right? So when you talk about Ketu Mahadasha basically lasts or spans for about 7 years. And even though it's a comparatively shorter period of time when we look at other than Rahu Mahadasha, Jupiter Mahadasha, or when you look at your Saturn Mahadasha, it's comparatively lower in terms of periods, but it's also extremely testing when you talk about these 7 years. So let me just give you a briefer idea of what we talk about Ketu. So Ketu is a planet of spirituality. It's a planet that deals with detachment. It's a planet that doesn't have a head, so it doesn't think. So whatever it picks up is through physical stimuli. It's something that deals with intuition. It has to go beyond what is visible, what is tangible. And all of these are looked into this. So people who are in the Ketu Mahadasha can be either into research, they can be too much into investigation, they can be too much into having health issues. And when I mean health issues, it can be physical symptoms that actually represent into your body because of multiple reasons. It can lead into a lot of sudden losses, a lot of sudden issues, both personally, professionally, every way. Apart from that, a lot of loneliness. It can cause a lot of isolation is one of the things that you can understand about Ketu. One thing that I would like to say about Ketu is for those of you who want to progress into the spirituality sector more, who want to become gurus or sannyasis, or who want to become ascendants in spiritually, this is going to be one of the best placements to have to get into those zones. So Ketu can definitely help you with that. But like I said, it's not very favoring planet, keeping in mind of general human tendencies and emotions, because generally on a person, when anybody has interest, they want to have a happy life, they want to have a family, they want to be loved, they want to be cared, they want to have a house full of people who love them, care about them, they want to have a successful profession. But Ketu is everything that's going to sit and destroy it. It's just going to destroy it. So Ketu is that kind of a planet. So whenever a person is going through Ketu Mahadasha, one of the major things that I would say you would see is a big hit in both relationships and professions. But when it comes to relationships, I think the hit is much more stronger than compared to relationships, as to what I have been able to learn. So let me give you an example. If you've seen a lot of people who try, or if you've ever gone to an astrologer, they would probably recommend not to get married during your Ketu Mahadasha, especially if you're having your Sade Sati along with it. And the reason why they say this is it's a taken that once you get into the relationship, it's bound to break. Because Ketu is something, not a bad planet, but it's a planet that's going to give you the ability to see something that you're not actually able to see. To give you an example, what I mean by this is, imagine a person is married, there's a couple who's married, and imagine the guy is cheating on the woman, but there are no physical signs that he's leaving behind that he's cheating on the woman, but somehow the woman knows, probably the way he's acting, the way he's not responding, whatever is it's not something that the woman is able to pick up clearly, but somewhere because of pattern recognition or something, she's able to identify that this guy is cheating on me. So this is the way of how Ketu actually exposes relationships. And if Ketu Mahadasha is going on and you have your Sade Sati, along with this intuitive understanding and pattern recognition understanding, there's going to be a point, especially in your peak of your Ketu Mahadasha or your peak of your Sade Sati, where the person is going to realize that they've been cheated and there's going to be evidences for it. And how bad it is that all those years that they've been in the relationship thinking this is how my life is going to be, this is my entire end goal, all of those illusions are going to fall. Like your entire life would be built around that person, and it's going to come crumbling down right in front of you, where you'll question yourself that you trusted a person like this. That is the kind of exposure Ketu brings in. Like you feel like it's not just pain, it's like somebody's ripping you apart into pieces. It's that kind of a sharp pain that hits when it comes to Ketu. And Ketu Mahadasha is a planet that is going to humble you down most of the times, or let me say 50-50. There are chances that if you have the willpower, if you have the determination, and if you're actually able to follow how Ketu works, you have a chance of improving your life. Definitely you have a chance of improving and bettering your life. But most of the times people tend to become or go into spirituality, that go into sannyasis. Most of the times people who are married want to become unmarried and want to live a life of a sage. All of these people who move into enlightenment and all are gone through their Ketu Mahadashas to reach that point, because that is the point where they meet their saturation. You'll also be able to see there are a lot of people who are successful business people who have established works. There'll be one point of time in their life where they would have, when their Ketu Mahadasha is going on, most of the times what happens, people think we'll spend our first 40 years earning, working, building up money, so a retirement life goes well. But when that retirement time comes and they want to enjoy it, they either lose the person they love, or that money that they've saved and just goes away. Some issue happens and they're unable to recoup it. That is the point that actually they hit in saying, what was I doing all along? I was just a slave thinking that this is my end goal, I'm going to get retirement money. But it doesn't work like that. It's never like that. Like everything is taken from it, and then they become they become like a nun. They're like, what is left? Let me just enjoy life. They go into spirituality, they try to find peace, inner peace. You'll see a lot of people who come into sectors. This is really the place where people come into attaining the consciousness of moksha. For those of you who believe in liberation and all that, this is the point where people come into saying, I want liberation, not just from myself but from my beliefs, from my thoughts, from my understanding of the world. I want to be free, I want to be detached, I want to be a wanderer. All of these are aspects of Ketu. So this is something that we've understood about Ketu. One more thing that we've understood about Ketu is the mysticity. So when we talk about mysticity in like mystic nature in Ketu, all of these people who have picked up on tarot, people who have picked up on reading energies, those crystal balls and all that you keep where people believe, I do not know the aspects of how it works, so I'm not going to get into that. But all of these might have a very strong sense of Ketu, because these are all dealing with intuition. So most of the times during or at the end of your Ketu Mahadasha, either you would have become very intuitive, where you'll be able to pick up on a lot of things. For me, intuition is not really seeing the future, but rather understanding patterns. So just to give you an example, if I have been in a relationship ever, and I have been in a relationship ever, and I've probably dated someone and that person cheated on me, somewhere I remember that the way the person acted when he was cheating on me. So when I go into my next relationship, I'll be, if that person again, the new one, is cheating on me, those traits that I remember that I initially had with my first relationship will be somewhere in my subconscious mind, which I can relate to it. So even though I can't put my finger, I already know intuitively or with a gut feeling or a subconscious understanding that this is what is happening. So this is something that you'll actually be able to see. So intuition level and understanding increases rapidly in Ketu Mahadasha or by the end of Ketu Mahadasha. Now one more thing, like I said is Ketu Mahadasha Ketu as a planet is something that is going to bring a lot of loneliness. So if you were living in a fully fledged house with your parents or your husband and your kids, at one point of time you'll be living alone. It'll be so rapid, it'll be so quick. You're just going to, everything is going to be taken and swept under your feet. You'll start living alone, you'll start actually living alone, you'll feel depressed, because initially we're not trained to live alone. We're always taught we need somebody to be with and all that. And when you go through this phase, you will actually start realizing what depression feels like, what loneliness feels like, what isolation feels like. There are certain case studies that we have been able to see where people start talking to themselves because they want some sense of just conversations happening. People start talking to themselves openly. All of these happens. Mental health issues is something that can be brought up during the Ketu Mahadasha because of these factors, and because of the extremities that Ketu bring along, because of sudden accidents, losses, experiences, people might go into delusion. So just not to get too much into a lot of details, but you might go into a state of psychosis where you might feel whether this is true, is this a dream, you can't differentiate between that. You might have a lot of chemical imbalances in your brain, and it might result to multiple mental health issues, emotional health issues. You might have breakdowns, you might have rage, you might have just numbness that you feel. There are different ways of how different people experience it, so these are some of the things. Anxiety, stress are some of the things that are there. And sometimes when initially you start going to the phase of feeling lonely or isolated, what happens, people try to come out of it and they start to make associations with people, so they just randomly go out, and also they start getting into trouble with wrong, getting into the wrong influences. All of these are aspects of Ketu. Most of the times Ketu Mahadasha ends again with a lot of pain, but as you move forward from Ketu Mahadasha, keeping again in your astrological charts in mind, it shows you how you're going to lead your life. But Ketu is something that deals with a lot of isolation. It is something that is going to make you feel very lonely. You'll be that ugly duckling on the family. It's like you might have 100 people in the family, but you don't relate to any of them. You're just there as a member of the family. You don't know them, you don't like them, you're just dealing with them. Those situations might arise. So all of these are aspects of Ketu. So for those of you who are going through Ketu Mahadasha, the only remedy, like I said, I would suggest more than an astrological perspective is through a spiritual perspective. I would just say surrender to every experience that comes during your Ketu Mahadasha. Even if it's isolation, please make sure you're mentally prepared to go for therapy. Make sure you're able to reach out to friends and family if there's some low, if you're feeling very low or anything. Make sure you have a support group that is in your hand. Make sure you're able to sit with, uh, you know don't have any regrets, that you have tried to do whatever you can, so at least regrets don't bother you, boggle you down. And if there is something that the life is trying to teach you, I do know it's very hard to detach from it after years of experiencing it. I just tell yourself that maybe this was for the highest good and God was protecting me from a lot more harm than what it has actually caused. So you can look into those. And like I said, just mentally be prepared that you are going to go into a lot of turmoil. When we talk about Ketu and Saturn, for me, these are the most extreme planets. Probably after that, I would say Rahu, but these two are the major planets, and the Mahadashas are extremely painful. So these are life changing, but they do change for the good if you actually follow through the entire process of the identifying of the self. While Shani Mahadasha deals with the self identity, Ketu Mahadasha deals with the the neutrality of it. It makes you a person who's neutral to things. That's the kind of effect that you have through Ketu Mahadasha. So you can look into those perspectives as well. So saying that, thank you very much.